Hello, welcome back to our second episode, or whatever it is, of Mo and Mo's Politically Incorrect.
This is Mo.
And I'm Mo.
I said you're Mo.
And I said I'm Mo.
You get to introduce me though.
So, we basically picking up from where we left off from, the current topic that me and Mo are discussing. So I'll just introduce you there.
You did, you did. That was
Covered
that.
Yeah. So the current topic me and Mo are discussing, or say that's hot at the moment, is the next step of how we feel us people in civilized world, or civilized developed worlds, are going to be facing. And I think that's going to be the control of each and every human working with an asset or without an asset. But if you're able to be controlled, they'll control you. And the next step is what we feel is how they're going to control us. And we hit on it in the last one, right? The way one control they have over us is our devices and our phones.
Yeah. That controls food supply, controls everything.
Exactly. Really. And the irony is we pay for this device ourselves, so we're technically giving them information and paying them to have that information on us. And it's not just information, it's basically we're giving them our life.
Yeah.
And saying, here's my bank, here's my insurances, here's my assets, paperwork, here's pretty much everything. It's all on this. I'm relying on this. And without that, I'm a subpar human. I would say
and
that
the kids are even more reliant on it.
The kids are even more reliant on it. I've seen reports of kids having like anxiety attacks. Take the devices away from them.
Jokes aside,
and it's quite sad. We're of a generation where we actually grew up where we had to entertain ourselves. There was nothing there to entertain us. I mean, the only entertainment we had was after school between 4 and 5 is when the on the 5 channels, on the 4 channels we had, was CITV and BBC, CBBCs or CBBC, whichever.
Banana Man.
So we grew up on Banana Man, Magic Roundabout. Oh, did you see what they're bringing back?
What?
Skeletor thingy. Come on.
Oh, He-Man.
Yeah, but what's it called?
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. Bring that out. So that'd be fun. That's us with our upbringing and the things that we've had associated to us.
We've got a Last Friday coming out this year.
It's another way. You say that last time.
No.
It's been like a whole.
No, they've got apparently got Chris.
But it'd be sad if you say last Friday, though, isn't it? If they say it's last Friday, because then it's just over.
But it's been over for ages.
Chris Rock and that other guy, Smokey.
Yeah,
I think Smokey's a really important character.
No, not Chris Rock, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, okay.
And
Kevin Hart should be funny.
Mike Epps. Is it Mike Epps?
Mike Epps is funny.
Yeah. Mike
Epps is funny. But okay, so coming back to this is the problem. We've grown up in a Western world, born and bred. So we have some association to their capitalist agenda, where we're controlling other means or other ways, be it through their capital, materialization of capital. Such as enticing us with cars, with clothes, with certain luxuries which technically aren't really a necessity, but we're being told they are, and we can't live without them.
That's how marketing
that's how the Western world is controlled.
Everything,
and if you're not controlled by those means, then you're going to get bombed eventually. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. It's either their way or the highway. What it feels like. The phone is one of their main ways of locking us in. Because let's be honest, bro. I turn around to you in, let's say, a year's time. Now you, mashallah, whatever we have given by Allah, we've attained, we've made, we've developed, whatever. But after a year, I turn around to you, I say, okay, now this is the phone that has your whole life. I can take this away from you. And you can start afresh, and you've got nothing, you can prove nothing, you've got no accounts, you can't pay for anything. That's it, you're zero. Now it's whatever trading you can do on your back. Meaning now you have to make your own identity again, or join our side. Let's say join the dark side, and you'll get your phone. You have that same status, that same credit history, the same whatever you have. What are you gonna do? The average Joe, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna turn around and say, no, I'm not gonna join no dark side. I know exactly where I am.
With this, with that,
F my phone. How easy or how hard is that going to be to do? So we've always talked about this, where it would be nice to set up some kind of infrastructure that we can fall back on. But that infrastructure has to compete with the infrastructure they've given us, right? So if we're going to denounce our phones, we need to have We're denouncing our banks. We're denouncing our utilities.
Yeah,
We're
everything
denouncing any
that's
assets
supplied
we own.
through them.
Because it's all supplied through them. It's all through their taxation system. So we have to have something of the like to bounce back on or fall on.
But like the Mormons.
Oh, you say that, but yeah.
I'm not even taking the piss, but like, like how they
exactly.
are, they're self kind of thing.
Not just bit, but I would say probably exactly like the Mormons.
Yeah.
You know, they're so. I mean, not obviously with the inbreeding and that stuff. That was quite messy, I would think. You know. But yeah,
Not
we need to
exactly
become
like them, but
self-sufficient. The average human being, we've discussed this many a times, the average human being does not know how to live off the land. I mean, I say the average, the Western world does not know how to live off the land. That's why we were so inspired when we look at these like people who go out into the wilderness and they're living tree houses there and they're living off the land. We're like, wow, look at that, and it feels so nice. That's why you watch it, because
that's what you're supposed to.
That's what we're supposed to live off the land. We're supposed to be the inheritors of the world, right? Like we're the top species, top man in the world. Yet we're the only ones that pay to live on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every other creature on this world actually lives for free, and some living lives of Riley, bro. Like cats, dogs. You know, not the birds. I feel caged birds in cages. That's no. A pet is a pet. That even if you leave it open, it still comes back to you. You know, that's a pet.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise it's a prisoner. So yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of we will keep jumping from subject to subject because that's just how we are and that's how we talk.
Yeah. We digress a lot, but we do again come back to the main thing of
what's happening in the US, what's happening globally, like in Iran right now.
You've got a message from your wife. I dare you to play it around aloud and let us listeners hear what she said.
That's gone.
Oh, there's back again. You didn't think that would happen, innit? Are you gonna do it? No, don't. She was staring at you. But yeah,
no, I mean, there's even with Iran right now, the high intentions. We were talking like how long ago that we always say this, that in where we moved, where we are now.
Yeah.
From there onwards, like from that period to now, what it's been about 2.5 years, whatever it is. A lot of things have happened.
That was just post COVID.
A lot of things.
It was just post COVID.
A lot of things happened.
And the world hasn't been the same since. It really hasn't.
No.
I think COVID was a big. I mean, I feel the whole thing's been, call me conspiracy theorist or whatever, but one of the conspiracies out there is the whole thing's been set up from time. And yeah, we're living at a time where right now conspiracies are making sense. You'll be like, oh, so that's why that, and that's why that, and this has been going on for a long time. And there's a lot of our lights just gone out.
Yep.
Oh no, you gotta press the button. Ooh, wow.
We have power.
We have. Oh, graciously. So this has been orchestrated for a long time, and that's why now, with information that's out there readily available to us, and we know about certain things, we only know about those things because they don't care anymore. If we know or if we don't know, because
it's like they don't need to. They don't want to hide it.
Yeah, they've gone beyond the point of no return, where it's going to happen now. So whoever knows, it doesn't really matter. Do whatever you can.
There's people waking up, but not enough people waking up.
Not enough people waking up. And you know what it is? It's sad for us to say that. I mean, it's wrong for us to not enough people waking up. Like, we've woken up in that sense, and a lot of people out there have woken up. They know the truth. What can we do? But what can we? Because we're tied in a different way. You know, we have our own little way that they've trapped us.
Everybody thinks that. A lot of people think that.
But you at some point, if you can't act upon it, at least you can raise your voice upon it. And if you can't raise your voice upon it, then at least call it bad in your heart. That's the minimum.
But the first step is at least just being able to realize, and kind of your mind's open and your eyes are open. Just that's the first step, to know what's actually going on.
To know what's going on, and then find like-minded people.
There is people that unfortunately living out there that they're just still living that thing that our government can't do is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. If you look back on the histories of governments, they're the ones that have caused most of the atrocities everywhere and anywhere. And this is where the whole agenda will fall into place, where we'll be told, okay, there's the governments there. This whole thing about Venezuela as well, where Trump's gone in and picked up the Venezuelan, kidnapped the Venezuelan, just like that. Bro, come with us when we chat to you. Like, are you serious? What are you talking about?
You heard about how they took them out, innit? Like the weapons and everything else.
The whole country lost power for like a good 2 hours.
They lost power. The radar system, everything went down. They heard they were in there because his house was within a base.
Okay.
Within a military base in the capital, and pretty much like a base, the way it was done. the radar went down, the lights went out, drones started. They could hear drones. This is from people that were there, soldiers that survived.
Yeah.
Then they saw about 6 helicopters. He said within those helicopters, only 20 people from those helicopters in total roughly came down,
Right.
of US soldiers.
Right.
They were very, very accurate in their shooting.
Okay.
Against this, he said, how many of you were there? They were interviewing them. I said there's about 200-300 at least of us.
Wow.
Yeah, of the.
How many did they kill?
A lot. He goes, they're accurate with the. He said it was like the guns were shooting 300 rounds, like, per whatever it was, and yeah, they were very, very accurate in their shooting. And then what came after that was a different type of weapon, which was kind of like a wave or a shock.
Sound.
Literally, he said, I turned around. He goes, other
Blood
people were
was
bleeding
coming
out of their nose. Other
ears.
people were coughing up blood.
Yeah.
It was a massacre in that sense.
That's it, man. I just turned around and I didn't even vote for this president. Why am I even going to stand here and protect him? Take him. I don't care. Don't want no sound shit coming out. People probably start bleeding from different orifices. What's that? Oh my god, I'm bleeding from my. But no, we laugh about it, but it is sad the fact that
But it is,
this takeover of countries, their government's not right, so now we're going to set up our own puppet. That's been happening for a long time. Or whoever's
But now
there,
it's kind of like we don't care.
We don't care
what you think about it.
We don't
And
care
like
what
how
you
we
think
were
about
saying that
we're going to take over.
First he said it was drugs, and then straight away he goes it was oil.
Yeah.
We're going to take the oil. We're going to keep all of it. We might sell some. He was really thinking about it, even with the oil tankers that they took. So. I don't know. It's very sad what's happening.
It is absolutely.
It's like, I know this might seem politically incorrect, but as I said about Hitler, that they're trying to compare what's going on in the US, but someone turned around, I read the other day, and said, well, Hitler wasn't a wrong one in a sense with the Epstein files.
Yeah.
In that sense, when you look at it.
Look, how many wars actually ran are fought on faith? If you look at Hitler, he was actually fighting a war on faith. You know what I mean? He was Christian. He believed in Jesus or the Bible or whatever, and he was against a particular ethnic background.
Yeah.
Not all of them. But a particular one, because this particular ethnic background was the one that had control over a lot of things. They were trying to bring homosexuality into it at that point. They had already brought porn into it. Germany at that point. Porn was there, homosexuality was there. They controlled pretty much the media there. They were controlling the banks there. They were pumping out loans and stuff like that, and getting people tied into really long term commitments, paying huge amounts of interest, that kind of stuff. And Hitler didn't like that. And as a true leader of your country, or even as a real human, you wouldn't want any human to be enslaved like that.
No, of course
Which
not.
is the way they enslaved the Western world. Most Western people living in Western countries, they're enslaved in different ways, where they're living a life they can't afford, so they're living it off credit.
Yeah.
And
continuously,
it's been made available so easily that you go ahead, live this life of credit, but then now you're stuck with us. And then you carry on working to pay off for a yard that A, you can't afford, and B, you're not even going to be spending much time in. You know what I mean? It's a really sad fact.
And it's that serious now that if many people like us as well. Many people talk about, I want to leave the country, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But even when you think about it, when they've tied you down to certain deals, contracts, this that, and the other, when you owe anything to them, they can get you from wherever you are. Really, pretty much a lot of countries.
Yeah. And with this whole one world order agenda coming, they're going to pick you out like.
So you can't even run away from where you want to run away from.
Yeah, exactly.
You're kind of tied down unless you're not part of the system.
It's about being off grid. It's about being self-sufficient, and there are people who have done that. And people, if you look at people in less developed countries, they're already doing that. Even to a basic level, but they're doing that, and they're sustaining themselves for a long time. Like they're growing their own food. Fine, they don't have the luxuries of having a variety, a palette of food there. But
coffee in there, that.
Good, keep you awake. But they've got they haven't got a luxurious menu or luxurious dining table, but they're still eating, still surviving. They've been surviving like that for millennia. We haven't, on the other hand. We've turned around and we've become dependent on what they feed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though we have lots of, it's a big menu, but it's a menu that's kind of processed foods.
Yeah.
And they're these processed foods, what they're doing, they're mutating. They're mutating with our tumors within our bodies that we all have. Most of them are benign. But these foods, these processed foods that we have, is a whole agenda with big pharma and all of these companies and agriculture. They have basically been feeding us stuff that is going to make our benign tumors become malignant through mutation.
Yeah.
And once they've mutated, they then become
cancerous. Yeah.
So any malignant tumor is going to spread, it's going to grow, and it's going to feed off us like a parasite. And unfortunately, it then takes over our organs and takes over our whole body. And that, again, is another way of them feeding the system, where now healthcare is propped up. And
everything is suited around to the system.
Exactly.
Everything
it's designed to keep us entrapped. And they've got many ways. They'll work through media, through sports, through football, through music, through finance, through education. And if all else fails, then they just send in whatever their missile is, to come down and wipe you out. And it's easier to wipe you out and start afresh. I can wipe out a whole town, a whole city that people don't agree with me, and I can just put whoever I want in there to live. And that's it. That's me growing that thought, that new ideology from that land. That land's covered. I don't have a threat from that place. But what the hell? But it's a dire state that we as humans, if those who understand, are in. It's like you said, it's a catch-22. Where do we go? And if we are going to go, where is it going to be, and what are we going to do there? But if we don't go, we're stuck still here doing the same thing that we're doing, just making the paper and trying to keep our heads afloat. It's a tough one, but where do we go? You know what your heart is saying, but right now with so few on this agenda, what can you do? Where are you going to go? We haven't set up that kind of infrastructure. And this is also the purpose of what we are trying to do, is we're trying to connect these people, like-minded people like us, who are on faith, who believe in Tawheed, who are away from this whole sect that they believe Islam has. Islam has no sect. It is what it is. It's we stand firm on the kalima, on the shahada. That is what we are. And that fundament of our religion also teaches us to accept and be at peace with other religions. It's not a case of us trying to, we're not allowed to, in Islam we're not allowed to defile any place of worship for somebody else or another religion. In fact, it gives them more protection under Islam, and that is the true Islam if you look at it. And many don't.
That's why Christianity, all religions have thrived in Muslim countries still.
Exactly, absolutely, absolutely.
And people, that's the part they don't tell people.
Yeah. Do you know, today I was reading up, coming onto religion, I was reading up this thing about how, in the first 100 years, do you know what scholars were arguing over? Like Christian scholars, Christian churches and Christian, what they were actually arguing over. They were actually arguing over, and it started from the first point when they claimed that the crucifixion, when the first blood dropped on the sands of Judea. They said that the man who was crucified looked like Jesus but was not Jesus. This is what the Christians, you look at it, the first 100 years, one of the first few things that these people argued about was the whole fact that it was not him. And that's we as Muslims, we have no issue with Christians whatsoever. But the problem with Christians is they associate to God. They associate another creation to God, and the creator cannot be associated in the Trinity, in the same level as his creation. That's what we Muslims don't agree with. Whereas Jesus,
I think a lot of them are realizing, but it's just hard for them to accept it.
It's very hard. It's like someone turn around to you and say, "Look, bro,
you believed in all your life,
it's all wrong." But you got a religion. There's only one religion. There's no Jewish or Christian or Muslim. There's only one religion, and that is of faith, and that is the faith in the one God, the one Creator. And this is why I've always explained it as it's like when you go to primary school, you get a different book and get a different teacher. You go to secondary, different book, different teacher. You get to college, different book, different teacher. Uni, different book, different. PhD, different. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. And the final book and the final revelation came in, and it affirmed everything. As humans developed, they came in with the finer tweaking of the laws of religion. As humans developed in their understanding, first it was about society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How you're gonna live amongst each other, no stealing, none of this. Then it became about marriage and children, and then finally it became about rights.
Yeah.
You know, and how everything, you know, the governance and how everything should be run, that state-wise. And that's all it is. That's all it is. In terms of respect, we respect Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, and Mother Mary so much that it's, you know, Mother Mary's, she's one of the highest ranked women, you know, piety-wise in Islam. You know, her examples are given in many parts of the Quran. But it's that's what we have. That's the thought and love that we have for Isa alayhi salam, and we, I think, most of the Muslim scholars agree that there is a second coming of Isa alayhi salam. In fact, because he wasn't crucified, he will come and return, and he will, you know, fight the Antichrist. Is what Muslims believe, and Christians believe that too. So that's where we stand on our faith, and our faith is the one that gives us the hope.
It's Zionism that's obviously killing off a lot of things. It's not even Judaism. It's Zionism that's corrupted Judaism.
It's hijacked.
It's hijacked.
It's hijacked Judaism, you know. And we, in religion-wise, we're the closest to the Jews, because the Jews do not associate anything to Allah, to God. You know, they don't do idolatry, you know, or idol worship in any sense. They're the closest to us, but that's the Jews. The Zionists, unfortunately, they worship a completely different entity.
The Jews and Palestinian Muslims and Palestinian Jews and
live together,
they all live Christians.
And you see it in London even. You see, go to central London, you'll see that actually Orthodox Jews who are Palestinian, and they state themselves that we're told in the Torah, you know, we're told in the Torah, Jews are forbidden to have a Jewish state, you know, and the fact of how they've been, their history throughout the world, 109 countries they were kicked out of. You know, there's a reason behind that. You know, because they try to establish this whole. Each time they've gone there, they've been hijacked. But the actual Jewish religion, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Yes, but I think religion itself needs to come to one pinnacle, fundamental faith. And that faith is, yes, I was a Jew. I always say this, if I was born at the time of Moses, you know, the time of Abraham or the time of Solomon, I'd be their religion. If I was born at the time of Jesus, I'd be his religion. I'm born at the time of Muhammad, so I'm his religion. And all of their religions are the same. It's just at different stages, you know. It's what they do.
It's been lost over time as well.
Lost and corrupted. The corruption was the main thing with the religion just before Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But that's where we stand on religion, and based on that, we have a firm belief of how we need to protect our own. We need to protect the faith, and we need to entice people to the beauty of Islam and become this stronger faith that can and is the only one that can overall fight the system, you know. And it may be a simpler living, it may be a harder living.
It's just a usual divide and conquer tactic.
It'll be a truer living,
isn't it? That's what it is.
Absolutely.
And it's always worked, and that's why they've always used it, and they still use it to this day, and it make everybody fight amongst each other. Whether it's religion, whether it's colour, whether it's, you know, whatever, they make people fight amongst each other, don't they? So,
whether it's football, you know, we're going to be divided in every aspect. In every aspect, we're going to be divided. We're going to fight. That's the way we are designed. We're going to pick a side. We're going to choose, but pick the right side. And the whole fight, it was never against me versus him. It was always